Hello, Internet, and welcome once again, Free-to-Play-Cast. Here we go, brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. I am your weekly host, Magicman. I've got my main man with me, Selfius. How are you?
What it do, baby?
What it do? You sound a hell of a lot better now. You must have a new mic.
I do have a new mic, technically.
Are we gonna talk about that later?
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Now, we normally roll with 3, and today we had a guest viewer host scheduled. Unfortunately, at the last minute, it did not work out. Something happened offline, and so, of course, we wish all the best to our viewer host that was scheduled. You know who you are, and we thank you, and we look forward to rescheduling that with you whenever you're ready to go. So, Selfius, you and me, let's roll with the news.
Let's do it.
All right, we've got some weird topics today.
I always like them. I like weird.
It's not, hey, let's talk about this game and what we thought. We've got some weird ones. Let's start it off with an article that I posted on the website earlier this week. Gania / Beanfun. Pick the name of your company depending on where you're at. So this week they announced that they will be shutting down a few games, mostly, all on the Beanfun side of the business. At the end of this year and into the beginning of next year. So, kind of a weird little, hey, all of a sudden, 3 games going bye-bye. So we've got WKM closing down on December 31st of this year, and then Davina and Lucent Heart will stay open a little bit longer, but will shut down on January 13th. What do you make of this before we go any further, Selfius? This isn't one game disappearing with no warning. This is all 3 Beanfun UK labels disappearing at the same time.
This is a year. We don't have a yearly budget.
So, kind of weird news for Gania all year, really. Nexon was buying up shares of Gania stock very, very quickly, Beanfun stock. To the point where it looked like an alleged hostile takeover, and the FTC, the Fair Trade Commission, kind of got involved and was kind of looking at things to see what exactly was going on. They fought that off. Then they've had some layoffs around the world in different locations, and now this. And I'm going to read you a little bit of the presser that came out for this, Selfius. Tell me what you think here. This week, we regret to announce that we will be closing down all of our servers by January 13th, 2013. We've been able to grow together and share in some great times and watch as you guys grew into a community of gamers we're proud to call our own. It is time to renew our contracts with Playku, and sadly, we aren't able to continue hosting these wonderful games. This decision happened very quickly. We wish we could give you more time, but unfortunately we can't. And then it goes on to say the typical dates and if you have bean points left on your account, what will happen to them and things like that. And, of course, thanks to the community. So, what's your pulse on this? Gania, Beanfun going bye-bye totally? Do you think there's a massive restructure going on here? What's in Selfius's hat there?
I see this company vanishing in a puff of smoke.
Really?
And and if Nexion was buying them up left and right, to me, 2 wrongs don't make a right. So hey, if Nexion wants to snatch them all up, go right ahead. I wasn't a huge fan of any of the games they made. They were a little kiddie to me. That's not my taste. I don't want to take it away from the people that did play it. I mean, if you are a community member, one of the 13 left, Oh,
brutal.
I don't know. I don't really. It's so bad that I had to go back and see what games they made. I was like, wait, what company? What did they make? And I looked back and I was like, oh, okay. I played Lucent Hearts, and I was like, a little too kiddie for me. What was it? The other one was Davina.
Davina, yeah, Davina. I did the first look for that one. It was an anime style type animations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seems like all their games were just been there, done that. They did nothing that grabbed me. It's pretty bad when an entire site or an entire company closes down and I really have to go, wow, what did they make?
Yeah, and you never want to see this, but is this kind of indicative of where we're at with the MMO market? I mean, we always like to talk about things on this show, and obviously the listeners, they put their comments and emails and things about this game's crap, this one's good, this game's crap, this is a copy of this is a copy of this. But is this kind of where we're at? Do you think we're, as an MMO community, we're at the saturation point right now, and it's now time for the good to continue going on and the bad to just start falling off one after the other?
So it's sort of like changing of the guards.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a nice plethora of games out there that are free to play, and I see what you're saying. I mean, maybe the industry exploded a little too fast, or certain companies took on a little bit more than they could chew. And like you were saying, some games just, people enjoy and continue to play, and others just fall off to the wayside. And unfortunately, it seems like all three games that they put out just don't hold the subscribers that they need. And once a game is no longer profitable, I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a hardcore MMO fan to understand what's going to happen to the game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like we couldn't see this coming, right? We had the multiple rounds of layoffs. Then they announced the second quarter of this year, they had a net loss for the entire quarter. And then when negotiations with Playku come around, it's not surprising that a company that just recently reported a net loss is probably looking at a situation where they can't afford the contracts that are a key part to keeping their games running. What do you think this means for, and I'll tell you what they're saying on Facebook, but what do you think this means for upcoming titles? Like Core Blaze is one that a lot of people were watching. Is it going to go away now? Do you think somebody else is picking this up? Nexon, obviously, I've got to assume that they're willing to jump in on some of these titles. If nothing else, maybe just Core Blaze.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was going to say, if Gania or Beanfun was smart about it, they'd do a fire sale. If they were really going down the drain, get what you can and get out of the game. And Nexon, if they did grab up that many shares, maybe that's what they will grab. Unfortunately, if not, it might turn into vaporware, and we'll never see it. And until this is played out, but like you said, the footprints are in the sand. We see where this is heading. So, but hopefully, I hate when people get laid off and companies close.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, they haven't officially announced that, hey, Gania Beanfun is done as a whole. They have not officially made that announcement yet. But it's kind of hard to not look at this and say this company as a whole is done. It's either going to become a small development team and be owned by somebody else, or it's just going to have a fire sale and get rid of everything. Who knows? Maybe they can regroup and restructure into a smaller organization and pump out one or two key titles that could help revitalize that small portion. They haven't been very forthcoming with information as far as what this means for the long-term Gania Beanfun labels. But they did say in response to questions on their Facebook that titles such as Core Blaze were still going to continue. They were not canceled. But you also didn't see a bunch of plans coming out for here's what we're going to do with Core Blaze, or here's what we're going to do with some of our upcoming games. I don't know. If I had to bet money right now, though, I would say Gania Beanfun totally disappears. I would also venture a guess that none of the three games mentioned in their press release find new owners. I do think Core Blaze finds new ownership simply because of the buzz surrounding the game itself. Whether that's Nexon or another company, I wouldn't put money on that, but I just don't think, even though it's not official yet as of the time of this recording, I don't think Gania Beanfun is around as a company for much longer. What about you?
I concur. I couldn't have said it any better. It's dead on. I think the three titles are gone in history, unfortunately, and due to media buzz and what people want, maybe Nexon will grab it up. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do with the shares that they grabbed up? So,
yeah, here's Kawedo on the news story that I posted. Kind of sums it up in their opinion very quickly. No sympathy. Lucent Heart is crap. Divina is crap. The games are overly grindy. They do nothing new. Item Mall is too pricey. No wonder they failed.
Wow. Went for the jugular on that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you like the games, then this is obviously bad news for you. But if you don't like the games, that's pretty much the consensus of the opinion, is that this is not surprising to any of us that have played these games or just follow the MMO genre and marketplace as closely as a lot of our fans do. It's just not surprising. It's unfortunate. We wish all the employees in every nation that they're represented the best in finding other jobs, and I certainly hope that this isn't the last we see of titles like Core Blaze that seemed to at least have some potential. But yeah, never good news when you shut down 3 games at once, and those are the only 3 games under one of your labels. Yipes. All right, so let's move on and talk about some other good news. What do you say?
Yeah, I like good news.
I mean, that was just cheerful, so let's keep up the cheerful vibe of the news this week.
It's the holidays.
Yeah, I know. We're closing out 2012 with such cheerful holiday news. Mortal Online by Starvault. So this game's pretty old, about 2 years old. So it's nothing new we're talking about. Most people are aware of this game. This game, I think, kind of hits your wheelhouse a little more than some, right? I mean, this is more old school. You work to level the skills. You're not leveling your character. You have to party. You have to really... I mean, we're talking Ultima Online.
Right.
Early EverQuest, Final Fantasy XI type hard party up, grindy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is more your type of game.
Yeah.
And I mean, the graphics obviously look a little dated. It launched 2 years ago, which means it's about 4 to 5 years old.
Mm.
So right now, they're following in line with some of the other MMOs lately, and boom, making the conversion to free-to-play. And it happened pretty quietly. If you weren't following MMO news really closely, you may actually have missed this one. There was no big advertisement or announcement besides to people that already played Mortal Online, so it was a little weird in that respect. But following in the footsteps of such epic free-to-play conversions as Star Wars The Old Republic, Starvault's decided on a few restrictions here.
Ooh, what are they?
Let me tell you the first one, and we'll talk about the rest later. I think this is the most important one. Your skills can only level to level 60. Now, keep in mind, paying players can level all of their skills to 100. So we're talking about a 40-point gap between the free-to-play and the subscription-based players.
Now, see? Yeah, I would see why you hit this on the first one, seeing how that's the game right there, leveling skills. I mean, it being a PvP game the way it is, I don't know.
You don't even have the chance to compete in that realm.
Right.
I mean, it's not even close. I mean, additional restrictions include you can't loot or trade expensive items. You're limited to 1 character slot, but that's not really just a free-to-play limitation. That actually extends to some of the other account payment methods they have where you're limited at 1 until you make a purchase. So that one's not too bad. You can't take you can't do the thieving, the stealing. You can't do any of that. So make the call on this one, free-to-play or unlimited trial, because it's being advertised as free-to-play.
That's an unlimited trial. That's not free-to-play. That's severely gimping your character, and the fact that as you get later on into the game, you can't loot. Well, I could see not trading or buying off the auction house. I've seen those limitations. That's understandable. You don't want a bunch of free accounts flooding the auction house with junk, and then that account going away, and you know how the auction house gets with certain games.
Right, or even trading. I mean, that makes sense to have that restriction there, too.
But the fact that you can't even loot items it's just, loot all. Loot all.
Loot partial.
How about just that item? How about I'll leave everything else there, but just that item? No, it just doesn't.
Where is my loot 33% button? I don't know where it's at. So here's my question though for this one. It's okay, fine if you want to have a trial like that. Fine, World of Warcraft does it. level 20. Rift does it with, level 20. We have these subscription-based games that have these little trials, and most of us are fine with it as long as you don't advertise it as free to play. You advertise it for what it is. It's a trial. Most of us are, okay, fine. Yeah, it's a trial. If I want to try it, I'll try it. But isn't the point of a trial, like when Rift or when World of Warcraft does it, isn't it that they are so confident in their product that they feel, whether they're right or wrong, doesn't matter, that they feel that, okay, by letting you play Rift to level 20, we think we have such a good product that you will be enticed to pay and continue playing. I mean, isn't that the point of a trial?
Right.
So do you think this is going to work for Mortal Online? It's already a tough game if you're not into, I shouldn't say tough. Tough's the wrong word. It's already one of those games that if you're not into the older school MMOs, you may be turned off of this game right away, based on the way the mechanics of the game work and leveling skills and things. You have to work for things a little more. Gosh, who knew that you had to work? Play Final Fantasy XI. Shit.
They're like tab targeting. Tab. I can't hit this guy. Tab. Oh.
But this just seems to me that if you can only get to 60, they are banking on the fact that they've created a compelling enough game to get your skills to level 60 that you are going to want to pay to get them to 100. And to me, honestly, I think it's the exact opposite. I think once I get to 60, I'm like, all that work I did to 60, now do I want to pay for the privilege to do it all the way to 100? Am I having that much fun doing this? Do you think this is going to send the waves of people that are usually associated with a free-to-play conversion? Is this going to pull that huge player base to Mortal Online that's going to turn into sub-based? Or is this just kind of one of those under-the-radar free-to-play and maybe somebody will see it and try it, and they probably won't?
Yeah, I see this as just a jump start. It's a little let's get a boost in the numbers. It's the end of the year. Let's make the fiscal numbers look good, guys.
How many subscriptions do you have? We're not talking about subscriptions at today's board meeting. We're talking about active accounts.
Oh,
how many active accounts do you have? 14 million.
How much did you make this quarter?
Right. How much did you need me to invest? 14 million's a lot. Well, we didn't make much. We converted all the profits into Beanfun stock. Oh!
We'll let you know what you could do with those Beanfun points later, though.
Yes, the email's coming. So you and I are kind of a fan of these type of games, though, even though we, to be honest, full disclosure, neither one of us has ever played Mortal Online. We were aware of it, but at the time we played other things.
Right.
Would you try it? Would you go and experience the unlimited free-to-play trial?
You know what? I would go only because it reminds me of it's the closest thing you can get to a Morrowind or Skyrim MMO, sort of how it plays and how it works.
Yeah, with the whole leveling thing.
And even the combat, it's a little clunky, but yeah. It plays just like it. And you know what? I wouldn't mind stepping in and seeing what it would be like for the whole immersion thing, where it's just like, all right, this is what it would be like. And, 60, that's severely gimping people. And I admit level 60, if it goes all the way to 100, that is a pretty good chunk of the game for you to be able to try for free, unlimited.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's Star Wars. We're going to give you 1 through 50, and we're going to give you the full story, but that's it.
Right, but like if you do sieges and all that, like for the PvP, what are you going to get a bunch of level 60s together to raid a level 100 castle? Let me tell you how that's going to work.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I would play it, to be honest, because when I'm looking for a game that has those old school feelings, I've got the games that I go to. I know I mentioned it a couple of times already. I have Final Fantasy XI fully updated on my Steam account, and it's always updated. I wish that it would have an HD conversion because if it did, I would resub like that, no questions asked, just because that's how much I like the game. But at the same time, I understand that type of game is not everybody's cup of tea because it does have that inherent grind and depending on other people. But so that, even EverQuest, I mean, you were over a couple of months ago, and we were like, hey, you know, what do you want to do? Well, let's boot up EverQuest 2 and take a look at what's going on in there lately. What are you laughing at?
Nothing good.
No, what are you laughing at?
Isn't that when you accidentally resubbed? Don't you want to share that story with the viewers?
Oh.
Hey, honey.
What were we doing? We were in the cash shop.
We were checking to see what the cash to coin conversion is in the game, and you went to click on something, and it was like, you were like, hey, let's see how much a sub is each month, and it was like, click, hey, thank you for your purchase.
Right, because I didn't realize that my information was still on file with Sony Online for DCUO.
Oh.
And so, you know, they had under that station umbrella, they had my stuff on file still, so I'm clicking just to try and see the conversion rate, and all of a sudden I look over at you and I'm like, well, we're subbed for a month. Tamina got home, she was so pissed.
She was like, what card did you use? What card does SOE have?
Most random $15 purchase ever. But yeah, so if there's already games that I have as my old school fallbacks that I'll go and play for a little while if I need that kind of old school fix. I don't think Mortal Online does it for me. I don't think the trial that they're advertising as free to play doesn't do it for me. And before we leave this story, we will be coming back to Mortal Online, and I will be giving another reason why I won't be playing it when we get to the weekly bombs.
Ooh.
Yes.
Weekly bombs.
That's what you call a tease, my friend. All right, so let's slide over to the last news story today. And hey, I apologize if you're watching this on YouTube. You know, I've got footage for some Gania stuff. That's what you're unfortunately going to have to watch over Mortal Online and this next news story. But I'll put 2 or 3 Gania videos on there, so you're not watching the same one. So the last story, very bizarre. Really bizarre. End of Nations, the quote MMORTS. I know some people don't like that title, but that's what just I'm going to use it for now because I have a feeling it may not matter anyway. End of Nations by Petroglyph, published by Tryon Worlds. That's the team behind Rift, obviously. So they've made an interesting announcement this week. Selfius, what was that?
It was literally the end of nations.
Yeah, so they said, hey guys, open beta was coming up. Yeah, we're not going to do that now. And we're going to need you to come in on Sunday. Okay. So End of Nations delayed their open beta, quote, until further notice, end quote. On top of that, they immediately took down the closed beta / alpha servers. Now, I cannot confirm nor deny that I have partaken in said alpha or closed beta. I cannot confirm nor deny that.
I will say again.
But, yeah, so this can't be good, right? I mean, there's no way in the world this is good news.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree. Until further notice. Yeah, every place I've ever seen that had an until further notice hung in the window, guess what? That place closed.
That or it'll be out soon.
Right.
Soon. All right. So next year? Soon.
Soon.
Son of a... Yeah, so very, very weird. Again, I'm going to read you the exact post here because the post gives me a little bit of hope, and I'll tell you why. It says, thank you for all your support over the past few months while we've been testing the game in closed beta. While we received an incredible amount of positive feedback, the closed beta test also identified several key areas of the game which need polish and improvement. As a result, we have decided to postpone the open beta phase of testing until further notice. We will let you know as soon as we have an update. Those players who made an End of Nations purchase should expect to receive a follow-up email shortly. We'll get to that in a second. Thank you in advance for your continued input and support. It is greatly appreciated. So here's why it gives me hope, Selfius, or am I just being overly optimistic here? I'm okay with video game delays. I don't like them. Nobody likes them. But when you see a company say, whoa, we just went through the beta tests, guys, we're going to have to delay things a little bit. You guys have really pointed out a lot of stuff that we really should address before we move any further. I'm okay with that. I wish Final Fantasy XIV would have done that.
No.
You know? I mean, we all gave that feedback during the beta that was like, don't launch. And they did anyway. I'm okay with a company doing this, even though I don't like a delay for a game I'm looking forward to, obviously. So maybe this means exactly what they say. There's some things we need to polish and improve. You don't buy that, though.
No. Because there's follow-up. There's always that but. It's like, here's what you want to hear, but...
But, all right, so let me get to the but.
Sorry, I was 12. I was 12 for like 2 seconds there. Go ahead.
For a second. Let me get to that but. So here's the follow-up. Here's the but, if you will. The email that's mentioned in the post from the Tryon Worlds team. The actual email is a bit mysterious. It says, "Hi. You recently purchased End of Nation Founders Editions from Green Man Gaming," or insert X, whatever company you bought it from. "We're sorry to inform you that Tryon Worlds, publisher of End of Nations, has decided to postpone the open beta phase of testing until further notice. Tryon Worlds received an incredible amount of feedback from the closed beta tests, and now wants to make in-game improvements to ensure that End of Nations delivers on a AAA game experience." Okay, I'm good so far, right, Selfius? We're still positive here. We're optimistic.
Yeah, I'm sitting here shaking my head like we're on a live cast.
We're doing good. And then there's this sentence. "We would like to offer you a full refund or Green Man Gaming account credit to your value of the purchase. Please reply to this email indicating which of the two you would prefer. Thank you for continuing to shop at Green Man Gaming, and we hope to see you again very soon." Now, Green Man Gaming, you can insert any outlet that you made your purchase from. That was just this particular email. There's multiple copies of it from multiple different people that purchased the Veterans Pack. Oh, I'm sorry, the Founders Pack. So, yeah, they weren't even given an option, huh? It's not, we're going to keep your money or give it back to you. Which do you want because we're delaying things? It's, we're giving the money back to you. Do you want it in cash or credit?
Yeah. Well, I cannot confirm nor deny that I played this game, but I don't know, man. I agree with you 100%. Nobody likes delays. Nobody likes a game to be held up. But at the end of the day, when I pop that game in or install it or whatever it is, if they took that extra month or two to polish the game for me to go, wow, you know what? I'm going to go out and tell my friend he needs this, and then his friend's going to tell his friend he needs this.
Exactly.
But when you get that kind of overwhelming feedback from the beta testers that you need to take your game and redo it, and here's all your money back.
Yeah. Let me make a few points here, and you tell me what you think of each of these, and maybe shoot them down for me. I don't know.
Okay.
We haven't exactly had a great track history with Petroglyph anyway. They've made some questionable products and some questionable decisions. They've had problems before with products that were very, very far in cycles of completion and just didn't come to market. So this type of information isn't surprising from a Petroglyph standpoint. It does surprise me a little bit because Tryon Worlds, as the publisher, is attached to this. And I generally hold that company in a pretty decent regard as far as customer service and the way they make decisions. I may not like all of their products, but I generally like the way they run their business. So I'm not surprised that this type of thing has happened with Petroglyph. And this particular game, again, having maybe played or not played the alpha, I may not, or I may be or may not be surprised that this has happened. I'm not. But... But, that aside, I'm going to put forth a different situation for you.
Mm.
Yes. And you tell me what you think. it's very easy for everybody to say, "Oh, it's canceled, it's gone," and we're seeing a lot of that on their forums, right?
Yeah. There was like a flood of it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're just going to give me my money back. So that's the end, right? It's like a bad breakup.
It's not you, it's us. It's us. we promise. And there were actually people on the forums sidebar here that had reserved their copy at GameStop. They wanted a physical copy. They got calls that were like, "Hey, your game's been canceled. Come get your money." And then they were like on the forums like, "What the hell's going on?" You know, people had to say, "Hey, it wasn't canceled. It's just GameStop being GameStop." But
right?
man, how'd you like to get that call just chilling at work?
Like, hey, new Call of Duty's been canceled. You can come pick it up before midnight tonight.
So, obviously, there is that chance that it's going to be canceled. The only evidence to the contrary right now, as of, again, this recording, which is happening December 3rd, the only evidence to the contrary that it is not being canceled is one post by community manager Lance James on the forums for End of Nations, buried in the middle of the first page of comments from one of the threads. It's not a post by the, we posted this and go ahead and read it. It's in a reply to a tester. And all the post says is, "Indeed, just wait and let us deliver a better game. End of Nations has not been canceled." And they just kind of confirmed that we're going to give automatic refunds and we're postponing things. So that's the only, word that we have. Hey, it is not being canceled. We don't have an official press release as of this moment saying, hey, a lot of you are thinking it's going to be canceled. It's not. That's it. One community manager post right now. So that's a little disconcerting. But let me put this to you and tell me what you think. I'm going to say, for the sake of argument, that they are being truthful and that End of Nations is not going to be canceled. Then I have to look at the total refund without the option of not getting a refund, which plenty of people posted on the forums, right? They said, hey, I don't want a refund. It's okay.
Like, polish your game. I'll keep my $40, $50, $60, and I'll see you guys in 2 months.
Yeah, that's fine. Keep it. I understand delays. I'm okay with that. But that wasn't an option. So that has to lead me to my idea here. I don't think the game's going to be free to play anymore. If End of Nations is still going to come out as a release, it's not scrapped. If they're telling the truth about that, I don't think End of Nations is going to be free to play anymore, because the only reason I think that you would immediately give everybody a refund, no questions asked, no options, is because if you're intending to release the game, you're changing the pricing model.
Right. You can't just be like, oh, by the way, you guys thought you were just going to throw $60 down? Well, guess what? We need an additional 15 out of you every month now.
Yeah, I don't know that would be the case. I don't know if they would go sub, or the Founders Pack was an option anyway because the End of Nations was slated to be free to play.
Right.
So it was an optional thing with a bunch of perks on it. We've seen a bunch of companies do that. So I think that if they're being truthful and End of Nations is going to come out, that they are examining that free-to-play and deciding if that is still the way to go based on everything that they have seen in the beta, and besides polishing gameplay, which I totally I totally believe that they have some polishing to do. I don't know where I would get that idea, but I totally believe that they have some polishing to do. I think they're now examining a buy-to-play release or a sub-base, but I don't think sub-base really works for the way End of Nations is built. I think they're really examining a buy-to-play release and just said, hey, we need to give all money back right now while we take a look at this. Do you think that might be a possibility? I mean, that's the only reason I can figure out, besides cancellation, that you would give all money back, no questions asked, no options.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That was controlled PR right there. It was one of those decisions. It's like, look, we're about to change this dramatically. I think it's better that we weather the storm of this media of why did you give us the money back than oh, by the way, here's your game, but we've changed it. You know what I mean? I think they took the lesser of two evils here, and I agree with you on what you're saying.
All right, so then it's time to make a decision. Is End of Nations going to see retail release? Whether it's free to play, sub base, buy to play, don't care. Is it going to make it to market? Yes or no, Selfius?
Had I or had I not played it, I would say, due to the buzz and the forums that I've talked to people that may or may not have played it, I think it finds the light of day. I do. But the speculation, like, I mean, you've given me another way of looking at it through the way that you see it, and I think you nailed it right on the head. I think it was damage control. It was a PR move. It's give everyone your money back, so we don't have to hear about it later.
So you know that whole situation that I just outlined for you?
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming out. I don't. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because I think End of Nations has potential to do some things that that a lot of people will be drawn to, from the videos on the websites and all that stuff. I think there's potential for this to be a good game. I don't think that it was there yet, and they've opted to tear it down and restructure a few things. But the way they did it, I think, was so fast. Not only are we not moving to open beta, but alpha and closed beta servers are off. You can't access them anymore. By the way, everybody's getting their money. And the only confirmation that we have it is not canceled is one community manager's post saying, "Trust me, it's not canceled," which was a week ago. I don't think End of Nation sees the light of day. I hope I am wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't think End of Nations gets released. So we'll have to see. We'll have to follow up on this one since we're split here.
Well, you know what the best part is? If it does become the true End of Nations and the NDA is lifted, we can find out whether we have or have not played it and what we thought.
That is true. That is true. We could be honest and tell the truth. I'm going to say I don't think it's coming out, but if it does, it's buy to play. I don't think the free to play tag is on it anymore. So if your side of the bargain comes true, I think it's buy to play. There's no free to play. But I personally don't think it's coming out. So, what do you guys think? Put it in the comments below. What's going to happen with Gania Beanfun? Are you going to try Mortal Online? Is End of Nations ever going to see the light of day? Put it in the comments below. While you're down there, click on like, subscribe, and obviously, come on over to mmobomb.com. Check out all the other great shows we've got going on there. Well, obviously, we've got our MMO Bomb Live, which happens on Monday and Wednesday at 2 Pacific United States time. Monday, Spunkify is live streaming. Wednesdays, Magicman stream. Hopefully, have a free-to-play cast member or two here and there. Pop on in. I don't know if you work this Wednesday, but hey, if you're not, you're certainly invited, Selfius. We've got the Fuse interview show. We've got the new Clone Attack show, which is causing a little bit of controversy here and there. But hey, that's what it's designed to do, where we take popular upcoming buy-to-play games and offer a few alternatives that are free to play that aren't obviously going to be clones of the entire game. I mean, this week I did GTA 5, and we've got a couple of games that Spunkify and I are working on for new episodes. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to give you a free to play GTA 5 from top to bottom. It's just not going to happen. But what we do is we isolate a few really cool features that everybody likes about those games and give you some free-to-play alternatives that may share some of those features. So check that out as well. Let's move over to the weekly bomb. Selfius, I know you've been dying to do this, so you're up first, my friend. A-bomb, dub-bomb, what's up?
Oh, no, I want to hear yours first, because you've already told me we're going back to a subject we talked about earlier. And I want to hear it.
Yeah, we're going. All right, I'll do mine first. It's an A-bomb, a big A-bomb to Mortal Online, and it has nothing to do with the free-to-play limitations, which I think are bad. I think it's a trial, but it has nothing to do with those. But it's for the inability to actually play the damn game. I told you above that I wouldn't play it, and I'm being honest, I would not. I just wouldn't sit there and play it for fun. But, working for mmobomb.com, I did try to play the game so that I could make a first look and put it on the site for everybody to see. I've tried to sign up now with 3 different email accounts, and I'm talking about from different generators, not like all Yahoo Mail or whatever. I mean, I used 3 legitimately different mail servers, 3 different mail accounts to try to sign up for an account. None of them will receive the confirmation verification account email that is sent by Mortal Online's website. No, don't tell me it's in my spam filter, guys. I've done this a few times before. They just don't get them. The resend option, they don't get that either. I've tried using public emails like Hotmail. I've tried using, private emails like a Verizon.net or .com, depending on where you're at, email. So I've tried both ways there. I have not gotten the verification email. I cannot get the resends, even though I've done it about 6 times on each of the 3 email accounts. And the kicker is, the first day that I tried this, I tried with 2 email accounts and could not get the verification email to register my account. I sent an email to support using the support links on their website. It is now gone unanswered for 5 days. No reply on if they even got it, if they're working on it, go fly a kite, nothing. Nothing from them for 5 days. So I've wanted to create a first look for this just to get you guys a peek at it if you haven't seen it before and make a decision whether you want to try it or not. Can't do it with 3 different damn email accounts. That, my friend, is how you launch a free-to-play MMO.
I'm still going to play it.
Hey, good luck. If you can get in, more power to you, my friend. More power to you. It's one of those sites, too, that it will not let you do anything until you validate your email. Some just will say, okay, you can go play the game, but you can't do anything on the forums until you validate. Right. No, it's one of those where you can't do squat until you validate. We're going on a week now. No reply to my email to support. 3 different email accounts. Can't get the verification email.
That's because they know it's you, Magic Man.
I didn't even use my Magic Man email address. Because that's just a forwarding, That just forwards to other emails for me. So I didn't even use that one, since it's just kind of a shell email that, redirects. I used legit accounts. Nothing. I need a drink. And this is Coke this time. It is not No Death Wednesday. This is Coca-Cola. Selfius, you're up. You're bomb.
I really hate the look of gift horse in the mouth, especially around this time of year.
Oh, a little holiday gift horse.
Oh, right. So if anybody is an avid listener of us or has caught the episode when I gave out a dub bomb to Turtle Beach for RMAing my headsets, I got them back today.
Well, that's good. Why are you all crabby?
Man, I wish we had like an illustration on the website right now of like Turtle Beach's website, and I could just move the mouse right now. I sent them for RMA a set of DPX 21s that were black and blue branded, and I got all excited because FedEx truck pulled up today, and I went running to the door like a little kid because you know how we all are when FedEx and UPS and the federal mail show up, and we know
bobbing back and forth in front of the window.
Right. So I rip it open to find out that I have been sent a pair of black and red PX 21s.
All right, so I'm not looking at their website and don't know their model numbers by heart. That must be a good thing, right? They gave you an upgrade because they couldn't fix the old ones.
No, the DPX are the virtual 7.1 surround sound headsets at approximately $150 retail. Mm-hmm. What I opened up today are the stereo amplified headsets ringing in at a $79.99 retail.
Wow.
And instead of dealing with their customer service again, I just, opened them up and used them, and I'm just going to take this one on the chin and maybe I'll buy myself a pair of Tritons for Christmas.
There you go. Wow, that sucks. You were kind of like, you were singing their praises a little bit ago.
Yeah, I was excited. I was like, wow, you know what? Customers, and that was the funniest part, is that's the exact response I got from the customer service rep, is he's like, we're going to RMA these for you because we want to provide good customer service. Those were the exact words. And when I opened them up today, and I was like, "What is this? They're black and
Oh,
red. They're not even black and
yeah.
black." Like I know everyone's like, "Really, color?" It's the point. It's the point. If I sent
Well,
you
I wouldn't even care about the color that much, but you're talking about half the price point
right,
and totally different feature set.
and I'm sure they're going to be like, "Oh well, the digital box, it should have came with it." And I just shook my head, and I don't even know whether these are the new PX21s or the olds because they're black and red branded. And when I went through the customer service manual, it says 2010.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, all right, so you guys pulled these out of the dusty warehouse and slapped my name on them and sent them to me to appease me. Good grief. Good grief, Charlie Brown.
A-bombs. Let's see if the viewers can help us out with some dub-bombs then.
Let's.
First up, Sailor Naruto 39 says A-bomb. Well, off to a good start. To No Shave November, talking about Sugero last show. Things like that only raise awareness for a month, and then no one gives a crap afterwards or actually does anything to help except for a pretentious little display that basically says to me, "Look at me, I'm helping to fight the fight for prostate cancer by not shaving." And then I had to edit the tail end of that comment. If you want to see it, head on over to the page and take a look at it. I'm kind of with him or her on that whole thing. And I'm constantly reminded of, do you ever watch Penn and Teller Bullshit?
Oh, absolutely.
Love that show. I hope it comes back. But there was an episode on charities and pink ribbons and no shave Novembers and 5Ks and that type of thing. And I'm always reminded when I see stuff like that of one of the things that the head of one of these cancer research fundraising type places says. It's like, if you want to cure X disease, write a check. That's it. You don't have to walk 5K. You don't have to buy everything with your favorite color ribbon on it. Write a check to somebody who's doing some good and help out. Yeah, I shave every day. But that's because I can't grow a full beard. Zygmunt Schral says, my bomb is for Sugero for having the original Soundwave, the most awesome Transformer ever. Yeah, we talked about Transformers Online last week. Were you a Transformers guy, Selfius?
Oh, are you kidding me? You got to be kidding me. I had so many.
I'm asking for the audience's benefit.
Right. I went and seen the movie when it came out. The original animated movie. That was awesome, by the way, if anybody never got a chance. But it's that 1980s dated cartoon, so you might not enjoy it if you go back and watch it. Yeah, I owned the original Optimus Prime, got him for Christmas. That was probably my favorite Christmas gift that year. But and I do have to agree with Soundwave. The only reason I thought he was the best is because he was literally 2 Transformers because he came with a cassette. And I'm like, this is awesome. You got 2. And he was a boom. And I mean, he was a tape player.
Mental Dagger says you had an A-bomb on free-to-play games being try-to-play, then played a Wakfu clip. Can't believe there was no commentary about that game limiting so much on free-to-play members in comparison to their subscribers. You bring up a point that I absolutely agree with, which is why I put that particular game over that particular discussion. The video portion, keep in mind, gang, that this is primarily presented as a podcast format, iTunes, RSS, download, that type of thing. It's put on YouTube for people that want to watch it there, which is why sometimes, if we're talking about a topic that we don't have video for, it's just some random gameplay. That particular clip was posted on top of the try-to-play discussion because I 100% agree with you that game absolutely limits the hell out of free-to-play members. I'm glad that you picked up on the irony of that clip. The reason it wasn't discussed is because the video is, of course, put together after the show based on what games I think will fit best with the discussion. So thank you for picking up my irony. I love it. What's that next one there, Selfius?
Oh, this is from Lagwin 1980. And he's giving a Planet Side 2 for a derp bomb.
A new one here.
Have we had a derp bomb on here?
We have not. We have had many attempts at new bomb types, but we have resisted change until now.
I sort of like this. Okay, it's a combination of a little bit of both. For not, let's see, not played a first-person shooter online for years and went on expecting to die. And by the time I was killing people and enjoying it, the servers went down twice.
Ugh.
It's understandable. It sucks, you
Yeah.
know. Then I had a look at the cash shop and thought, yeah, I might go buy a gun that was on sale. Added the cash, found the gun couldn't be bought as it wasn't available and it wasn't for over an hour. So I bought another gun. Shortly after that sale, guess what?
Oh.
The gun was back. Frowny face.
That sucks.
Yeah. Other than the boost seems a tad over expensive to the point that you actually better off just paying a monthly sub. As for the question of the week, I've never supported a game through a Kickstarter, mainly because I'm skint at the moment.
Yep.
There's almost nothing I would outright give my money to because I like the idea of the game and how they say they want it to make it, but I would have to put money on Path of Exile, but only because I did manage to get into the closed beta and like the way it's shaped up.
Yeah, that's last week's question. We asked the viewers if they've ever supported a game through a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo or any of those fundraising type things. Have you, Selfius? You ever shelled out some money?
I'm seriously debating if it helps out. I don't know if you've noticed on my Facebook page, they the whole Suikoden, they're trying to get.
Yes.
And they're about a tenth of the way on their signatures. But I'll tell you what, if they ask me to send $10, I think my wallet's going to get a little lighter.
Yeah, I could do that. I've never supported a game. I did support the Angry Video Game Nerd movie on Indiegogo.
Okay.
For James Rolfe, but that was it. I've never done a game. Dash says, I have an A-bomb and D-bomb for Firefall stress test beta. A-bomb for the lack of players in the stress test. Kind of ironic. Although I think most people already forgot this game still exists. D-bomb for Firefall's gameplay mechanics, which promotes teamwork, and so far, I haven't heard anyone shout KSer. Kill Stealer, for those of you that may not know.
You can't kill steal.
Yeah, well, so it's a justified D-bomb. As for the question of the week, I have not supported anything on Kickstarter, but I am willing to push out 50 to 500 if the company is making something like MechWarrior Online plus Gundam plus PlanetSide 2. Basically, a Gundam mech with PlanetSide 2 war style. That was our other question, too. If you haven't, Selfius, what would it take to get your financial support? So on that topic, a bunch of people chimed in on this one. Slodic, longtime contributor, says, I supported Starforge on Indiegogo. That's one that I almost supported as well. Until I heard the following news that Slodic gives. It isn't free to play anymore, but it used to be, so I'm counting it anyways. I like how the infinite terrain sandbox RPG genre that Minecraft started has evolved, and I love supporting games like it. I was considering supporting it too, but then when it stopped going free to play, it kind of seemed to me like, okay, well then you already have a finance plan in your mind on how you're going to get the money to publish it, to in turn make money. Why do you need my money?
Right.
That it's kind of like, to me, seems like, EA saying
double dipping.
Right, give me a couple bucks to help make this game. Air Splash says, nice show, free to play cast. Watch it every week. My girl freaked out when she saw the show, so I would like to thank you all. I got a D-bomb for Pokemon Dawn of Darkness. My cousin talked me into downloading it, and I loved it. It's a Pokemon MMORPG that's actually good. I didn't think it'd keep me off PlanetSide 2, but it did take me back to my childhood, so it was worth a D-bomb. As for the question of the week, in order for me to cough up money in this economy for game development, I need to know 3 things. 1, who's the company? 2, what will my money be going towards? And 3, will I get some in-game items for helping you out? Can't wait to see the 2-hour show. Make it good, guys and or gals. That's pretty specific feedback right there.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
He knows what he wants. 2-hour show coming up for 1 year. Next week we got a normal episode, but then on Sunday, December 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern United States time. 2 p.m. Eastern United States time. we will be having our 2-hour live show to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the free-to-play cast. Good Lord, we made it a year. Whew. We're going to have a bunch of hosts there. Some of them, unfortunately, can't make it due to scheduling, but we have most of the hosts there. We will have one group of hosts for the first hour. We'll take a few-minute break just to reset the images for the second half, and then we will go for the second hour with other hosts. So we're going to do a little swap in, swap out. Selfius, you're going to be there, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. You're on second hour, I believe.
I believe so.
Second hour. I'm not going to reveal any more of who's on and when and what we're talking about. So what's that next one there?
All right, this is from Snow. Just Snow with a bunch of W's, but I figured I'd add a little twang to it. All right, this is for the question of the week. I've never supported any Kickstarter games. I might do so if I see a game that coincides fully with my tastes. Even though I might just donate a small amount of money, I could give you some far-fetched reasons why I don't support any games, but maybe I'm just a cheap bastard.
Something to be said for honesty in advertising, I guess.
Yeah, that's nice. It's frugal.
It's frugal.
That's the word you're looking for.
Mystica says, A-bomb to Valve or PopCap for stating that Monopoly on Steam had multiplayer when really it should have been labeled local co-op. Until now, never heard about Kickstarter, so I haven't supported any games on it. I did purchase the Humble THQ bundle, though, to support THQ, who are pretty down in the dumps right now, alongside Humble Bundle Incorporated. I know you had shot me that the day it went up, too. Did you end up getting it?
I think the average price was about $5.53. As long as you went above the average price, it also unlocked Saints Row 3. I didn't grab it because I own most of the games that were in that bundle already.
I ended up grabbing it.
See? Told you.
I couldn't help it. TOZ/Frelms, depending on which forum. Great show, guys. Here's one for Sajero's other half that he mentioned on last week's show. Or to be used as ammunition when the free-to-play cast meets her. Last week's show was titled, What Does $100,000 Get You? Because Arcblade was trying to get $100,000 from Kickstarter and didn't really tell you what they were using the money for. That's where the whole Kickstarter conversation came from. So TOZ says, Sajero, $100,000 can get you a damn fine engagement ring.
That'd be a rock. 100,000?
She wouldn't be able to lift her arm. Question of the week. I haven't backed anything on Kickstarter nor similars. What would get me pledging? Solid and detailed information on the project, which Arcblade didn't have. A good amount of videos showcasing what they have achieved and what they plan to achieve, which Arcblade did. Their current structure, what is lacking, why it is lacking, and how will it benefit, how the money is intended to be spent. Don't just throw out a general for development and sustain our people, which is exactly what Arcblade did. Not saying make me an Excel chart, but do put up something more concrete, like hire X folks, upgrade this, get license for Y engine, sell me your product. It's not because it's on the internet that I should just toss money at you for saying you have an idea. Try that with a bank. It would be hilarious.
It'd be like a crapshoot. Go get your money and be like, we had it.
I have an idea, bank. Great feedback, guys. So, for the question for next week, if I called you up on Skype this week and said, hey, I need you to make a show for MMO Bomb, what would that show be about? Tell us a little bit about it. What would it look like? What would the topics be? What the format be? Tell me what your show would look like if I called you up and said, hey, need you to make it. That's an interesting question.
Your job.
Right?
Hey, guys, it's the end of the year. I'm looking for some ideas. Help me out.
Let's throw it around for the final words. Don't forget your da-bombs, your weekly bombs, your answers to the question of the week. Put them in the comments below. Click like and subscribe. Selfius, you're a final word, my friend.
The final word is chicken.
That is a good word.
Because it is the word. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys.
Did you hear the news today, Selfius?
No. What happened?
Some news of the ornithological variety.
No, please.
It was my understanding that everybody had heard.
And what did they hear?
The bird. Bird is the word. I love Family Guy. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't believe I went with that. I want to thank you guys. The holidays are coming up. Hopefully, everybody gets to spend some time with their loved ones. I am really looking forward to meeting Sajuro's other half. Hopefully that happens during the live show. I also want to thank all the viewers who sent in to Demina to get off the porch.
Oh my God, that was priceless, wasn't it?
I knew she found it because my phone instantly blew up with messenger things from Facebook about how dead I was. and I didn't even start it. I just shared the story.
Right?
But, yeah,
I told the
viewers
viewers, she yelled from upstairs. What did Selfius do? I was like, oh, that was actually me.
Yeah. But
she also chimed in on Wednesday's live stream. While I was streaming, she yelled into the room here, "Hello, MMO bombers," to everybody.
And she didn't tell him to get off the porch?
No.
Oh.
All right, so where can everybody follow you?
They can follow me over at The Real Selfius on the Twitters. It's still a ghost town. Nobody really checks me out. Other than Russian mail order brides keep sending me links.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have to Twitter bomb you.
Yeah, gotta go in there and clean it out once a day. I'm talking about Twitter. Talking about the Twitter.
All right, for Selfius Gang, I'm Magic Man. You can follow me on Twitter at MagicMan1. It's MAGICKMANN1. You can hit me on the email, magicman@mmobomb.com, spelled the normal way, MAGICMAN. Until next week, gang, make sure you put your bombs, your comments, your question of the week replies down below and click like. Stay safe, and we'll see you out on the servers.